Hi everyone and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be running through some summer book recommendations and my TBR for this summer. Starting off, I'm going to run through some romance recommendations for you guys. I mean, if you've got any more recommendations, obviously let me know in the comments, but these are a few books that I've read over the summer periods in previous years or this year, and just some books that I've really enjoyed, so I thought we could run through those together. The first book we have is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I know this is a bit of a weird cover, this is a proof copy, but still literally my favourite book of all time. If you don't know what this book is about, we have Clementine and she inherits her aunt's apartment after her passing. Her aunt used to tell Clementine that the apartment was magic, which she didn't believe until one day she comes home and there is a man in her kitchen. He claims he's been told that he can stay for the summer, but he's from 7 years in the past. The two of them start up a romance, but obviously the time difference is a little bit of an issue with him not being in the same time zone as her or time period as her. So that's what I'm going to say on this, because obviously I want you to discover the rest of the book from that. But it is incredible. I actually did a reread of this recently and read it cover to cover in 3 hours. I absolutely love this book and cannot recommend it enough. The next book we have is The Heartbreak Hotel. So our main character has recently experienced a breakup. As part of the breakup, she takes ownership of the house. However, the rent is too high, so she can't pay it by herself. So she proposes to the landlord that she turns the house into a B&B. It then becomes a retreat for the broken-hearted, where people who have experienced recent breakup or just heartache in general, they go there for a bit of a retreat, and you kind of get loads of like side characters and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed this book, and it was such a quick read as well. Then it would not be a summer book recommendations video without a book from Emily Henry. So the one that I'm going to recommend to you is Great Big Beautiful Life. But literally any book by Emily Henry is amazing for the summer. This one was kind of like mixed reviews from people, but I really enjoyed it. So we have our two main characters and they're both writers, and then there is an infamous heiress, I think she is. Yeah, it calls her a tragic heiress. So we have Margaret, she's the heiress. Our writers are then competing with each other to tell her life story. So we kind of like follow them across the summer, following them during this time period, but then also in the past tense of Margaret and what she's gone through as well, like her telling her story, and then obviously like a romance sort of happens and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed this one. I really liked the fact that you got the past and present tense. I liked all of that. Then we have one of my favourite books I've ever read for the summer months, and that is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I feel like I need to do a reread of this. I just loved it so much. So during college, our two main characters got married for housing reasons, but then when they left college, they decided like not to be together anymore. They didn't really see each other during that time period, so it wasn't really like a proper marriage. It was just more obviously marriage of convenience. And then have West, and he needs to attend his sister's wedding. He then turns up and tells Anna that they're actually still married. He did not like annul the marriage, or they didn't get divorced or whatever. So he needs her to go to his sister's wedding with him because his family still think that he is married to Anna. The two of them then head out to a private island for the wedding with all of West's family, and they have to basically fake date, pretend that they've been married for this amount of time, like quite a few years by now. So it's just so good. So the setting is amazing. It's really like summer vibes with them being on a private island, and just Anna is a hilarious main character, but also her dynamic with West is just amazing. I really enjoyed this book. So if you're looking for a good like rom-commy book, this one is perfect. I then have two authors who, again, any book by them is amazing for the summer. So the first one is Elsie Silver. Hers are more like small town cowboy romance style. And then we also have Carly Fortune, and hers are normally second chance or friends to lovers, that sort of vibe, and normally told in like past and present tense as well. So yeah, both of those authors are just amazing for the summer months. Then I have some general fiction. So we have The Correspondent, which is a book told completely in letters and emails. It's such an interesting concept for a book. Our main character basically writes letters or emails to people in her life, people surrounding her, whether it's authors or friends, family, just everyone. And you see the correspondence over so many years between her and then people writing back as well. I can't really say too much else, like that's literally what the story is about, but I just really enjoyed it. And it's so quick paced because the chapters are just so short, with it just being like one letter or an email. We then have The Wedding People, which I am going to warn you to check trigger warnings for, even though this book is literally I found it quite funny, like hilarious, but I still would recommend checking trigger warnings because there are some deeper themes in here as well. Our main character heads to Rhode Island for a particular reason, which I'm not going to mention, but is trying to like navigate a bit of a rough time in her life. However, when she checks into the hotel that she's planning to stay at, a wedding is happening there, and actually the hotel was not meant to give out any rooms to any non-wedding guests. It obviously complicates her plans, but also kind of throws the spanner in the works for the bride of the wedding. So her and the bride kind of spark up a really odd friendship, sort of. Kind of like frenemies to begin with, but then like a friendship sort of blossoms from there. And our main character then ends up just doing like loads of wedding activities in the week, and it just turns into a really random but funny story. But obviously there are deeper themes like throughout and stuff, so like I say, do check trigger warnings. But I just really enjoyed this book, so much more than I thought I was going to as well. Then we have The Hotel Nantucket. I actually read this on my holiday last year and just binged it. I just really enjoyed it. So a hotel is reopening on Nantucket called The Hotel Nantucket, obviously, and in this book we are then following guests that are staying at the hotel. So there are so many different perspectives from all the guests and all that sort of jazz, but it's a very character driven story of like following the lives of these people, the dramas of stuff that's happening whilst they're staying at the hotel or in their personal lives and all that sort of stuff. So really enjoyable, and I will be reading more Elin Hilderbrand books this year, hopefully on my holiday. Those are all the recommendations that I have. I mean, obviously I've probably got more, but those were the ones that were like at the forefront of my brain. So now let's get on to some of the books that I want to read this summer. A lot of these I don't have because they're either coming out soon or have been on my birthday wish list, so I will have them within like the next week or so. So the first one is Fever Dream by Elsie Silver, which is Elsie Silver's newest release and the first book in a new series that she's doing. So we have Theo Silver's sister, I think, in this one, so that should be interesting. And the next one is Just Friends by Hayley Pham. So this is Hayley Pham's first book. She's gone from like booktuber to author, so I'm really excited to read this one. Then we have Heartstopper Volume 6, which I actually don't think is out yet, so I am awaiting this one, but it is the last book in the Heartstopper graphic novel series and I can't wait to read it, although I'm going to be so sad when the series is over. Then we have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, which I think was maybe released last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. This one is, I think, set in Italy, so I was saving this obviously for the more summer months, and obviously it's called Problematic Summer Romance. I feel like I can't read that at any other time in the year than summer. So then we have Husbands and Lovers, which I actually don't know too much about this book, but just the cover just screams summer and really intrigued me, so I'm excited to read this one. I don't know if it's maybe more of like a fiction-y book. I literally have no idea. Then we have The Summer Pact. I actually saw this recommended on TikTok at some point and it was on my Amazon wishlist, and I think I'm having it for my birthday. Like so many of these books are like, I think I am, but if not, I'll just purchase them afterwards. Then we have The God of the Woods, which I've been waiting to read for so long. I don't know why I haven't got to it yet, but I feel like I'm going to really enjoy it, and sometimes when I feel like I'm going to enjoy a book, I end up putting it off for a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. This one's more of it's a fiction but also a mystery. I think someone goes missing, like a child goes missing from a summer camp, but also a few years prior another child went missing from the same summer camp, and I think both children are the owner's children of that camp. So yeah, that's literally all I know about it. So then obviously we have a bit of like a mystery thing going on. Then we have The Island Club, which I think is a very new release. I think it came out either in May or the very start of June, so really excited to get to this one. It kind of gave me Elin Hilderbrand vibes. So I think there are like 3 women that go to an island club and they all have like secrets and stuff coming out. It just sounded really interesting when I read the blurb. Then we have Slanting Towards the Sea, which I think is a second chance romance, and I just know that Sarah Caroli has raved about this book, so if she says it's good, I'm probably going to give it a read. Then we have Passion Project, which is I don't know how to describe this book. I think they have like a list of stuff that they want to do in the summer or something like that. I don't know. When I read the blurb, it just sounded interesting to me. Like, I read a blurb, I put it on my wish list, and then I completely forget what our book is about. And then the last book that we have is Yesteryear, which I have heard so many things about this book, like mixed reviews, or some people have been raving about it, some people have just said crazy. So I'm excited to get to it and kind of give my own thoughts and stuff on it. So maybe I'll do a reading vlog or something to give my thoughts on this book. When I posted that I'd bought it, a few of you have said like, please give your thoughts on it. So yeah, we will see, but I've had, yeah, just mixed reviews. But those are all the books that we're going to run through in today's video. If you have any suggestions for books that I should read this summer, let me know in the comments section and I will get to those. Or if you have read any of the ones that are on my TBR and you've got some thoughts on them, also let me know too. I hope you all have a nice summer. I hope you have an excellent reading throughout the summer. I'm excited. I'm about to go away for 2 weeks, so some serious reading is going to be happening in that time. I think I'm packing like 5 or 6 books and my Kindle, because I fly through books on holiday. Like I literally will finish a book in a day if I'm just sat there reading. So yeah, but thank you for watching today's video and hopefully I'll see you in another one super soon.